Eating anything we want without getting fat. I think that we can all agree this is a dream that we all have. But sadly, eating anything we want more often than not leads us to a caloric surplus or gaining weight. Many people's first instinct when we overeat is to burn off those extra calories with this super intense cardio session. But what happens if there was a way that we can burn calories while we're eating our favorite foods? Well, it's my pleasure to tell you that there is a way that we can increase our metabolisms while at rest. We can achieve this along with many other things through strength training. As an athlete, I started strength training at a young age. I was very young when I first started strength training and I did very little research, but I always had a coach or a trainer there with me to guide me through it. I wasn't doing it necessarily for cosmetic reasons, but I did get a lot of comments on physical things in my body that often suggested weightlifting. In addition to the physical changes my body was going through, I also saw significant development in my sport softball. I was able to throw harder, hit further, run faster, and last longer throughout my games. I understood the connection, but I never really could truly appreciate it until I graduated high school and I took a step back from strength training and I increased my cardio and I saw my body suffer and my health just get worse. This encouraged me to kind of look further into strength training and understand how I was able to utilize it to increase my athletic ability and as well feel healthier and better about my body. I'm in no way trying to discourage cardio. I definitely believe that there should be a balance between the two. However, a lot of people struggle to find a good balance between these two. It's a common misconception that in order for us to reduce fat, we need to be doing an extensive amount of cardio. Yes, you're still burning calories while you're doing cardio, but is a cardio-focused routine really the healthiest for you and give you the results that you're looking for? Probably not, unless you're a long-distance runner training for a race that's in the next few weeks. And even then, these athletes are still lifting weights in their off seasons. Strength training, when we're practicing it properly, has an extremely positive influence on our bodies. Not only can strength training help us get to those bodies that we want to have, but it also has numerous health factors that are good and advances our athletic ability. We're going to start on the most popular reason for exercising, and that is our goal physique. I'd like to share with you guys how strength training can help us reach certain goals that we want to see in our bodies. Strength training is an ideal form of exercise for those who have specific goals in regards to what they want their bodies to look like. It's obvious in order for us to lose fat, we need to be in a caloric deficit, which means that we're taking in less calories than what we're burning. But some people are able to maintain a caloric deficit without the use of strenuous exercise. However, many people struggle with this, and the caloric intake is too low, and this is where exercise plays a huge role. Remember how I said that there was a way for us to burn calories while we're eating our favorite foods? Well, according to Grant Tinsley, a doctor at Healthline, when we have a workout in the morning, we're continuously burning those calories throughout the day if it was strength training. So that means that if we had a super intense weightlifting session in the morning, we're still burning those calories for the rest of the day while we're eating. This process of how many calories we're burning is known as our basal metabolic rates, or BMRs. Essentially, by participating in strength training regularly, we're going to increase those BMRs and be able to have more of a calorie deficit without actually eating less, which is necessary for fat loss. In one study, experts actually measured 40 individuals in a before and after a 24-week strength program, and the raw results ended up concluding that there was a 7% increase in their BMRs. Additionally, dieters also struggle with losing fat in certain places, or they've achieved those weight loss goals that they wanted to reach, but they're still unhappy with certain parts of their body when they look in the mirror. Unfortunately, if we took these weight loss measures that we do to extremes, it can often be unhealthy, and we're also going to jeopardize things that we're already like about ourselves. And we also may never reach our goal. You may have heard that spot reducing fat is a myth, which is true, but we can strengthen certain muscles in order to see some definition in those. Julie Nato, who's an occupational therapist, explains that when we're strength training certain muscles, we're actually increasing their mass. This is why we see bodybuilders, instead of doing full body workouts or cardio sessions, they're actually just training one group of muscles each day. This is really misunderstood by a lot of people. Some people may be doing an excessive amount of cardio, and they're only seeing definition in the legs when they're actually trying to reduce fat in their belly. If we are doing workouts or strength training that's focusing on this certain body part, we're going to increase the definition in that part of our body. The larger the muscle is, the more defined it's going to appear. Now, maybe you're already confident with your physique and you don't feel like you need strength training in your life because you get your exercise in different forms. I'm happy to inform you that strength training actually has a lot of other benefits. Strength training is often thought of as a tool for bodybuilders and athletes, but these athletes are getting in their strength training and they're maintaining their health through it. Multiple studies show that those who participate in strength training actually live longer and healthier lives. I'm sure that all of us know that the number one cause of death in the United States is heart disease. Usually those at risk are suggested to make lifestyle changes such as exercising more and dieting. Although exercise is a great place to start, strength training has been researched to proven to improve cardiovascular health. In 2013, there was research done that showed men who participated in strength training actually had better HDL levels or better cholesterol than those who didn't participate in strength training. This means that whether you're exercising or not, those who are looking to improve those cholesterol levels might want to look into some strength training. Strength-based training may seem intimidating for those who aren't really athletically gifted, although athleticism is hardly a gift. It requires a lot of practice. Getting strength is one thing, maintaining it is a completely other thing, and it's very difficult. This is really important to consider when we're aging. When we age, we get weaker. Older adults usually get tired faster, and they find themselves limited in their range of motion, their movement, and their strength. Although aging and the weakening of our body is unavoidable, we can postpone this. We can postpone this through continuous strength training, and it will make a huge difference on what our lives look like post-retirement. Doing these exercises with strength training can ultimately lead to a longer independent lifestyle. The CDC actually published a guide for older adults with strength training, and it said that strength training, while we're older, can lead to boost in strength, energy, vitality, and the role it plays with chronic diseases. Additionally, when we're increasing our strength, we're also helping our mobility and our movement ability, which makes just everyday navigation in life easier for us at an older age. Now that we discussed how strength training can be beneficial for everyone and a tool, I'd like to finally look at what interests me in strength training. It's a huge component of what sets pro and amateur athletes apart. Many young athletes are actually blessed with natural talent, but when we hit puberty, this natural talent kind of goes down the drain, and the skill ranges between athletes get dramatically smaller. What sets these athletes apart from one another is strength training. It takes these athletes to that next level and advances their performances on the field or on the court. As we discussed before, lifting weights and strength training, they're going to build our muscles. However, this purpose for strength training in athletes isn't for cosmetic reasons. It's actually used to strengthen a particular muscle in their chosen sport. You may notice that many of these athletes that play the same sport or they play the same position, they have same builds to their body. This is due to the stress that we're putting on specific muscles in this sport. Since these muscles are always being used in that sport, they're going to develop some natural strength on their own. But athletes who choose to go and strengthen these muscles outside of their sport using weights or in the weight room lifting, they're going to see better results in their athletic abilities compared to those who aren't doing anything. Research shows that strength training can increase strength, power, speed, acceleration in a range of different sports, meaning that these athletes can dramatically improve their skills through lifting weights. A common fear amongst any professional athlete is an injury that's serious enough to end their career. Fortunately, we have strength training to aid to that as well. Using strength and resistance training, athletes are actually able to fix these muscle imbalances that we're finding in our body and correct them, ultimately reducing the chance of injury. Progressing strength in muscles also progresses our flexibility and our range of motion on and off the field, which makes us move easier in the games. Although injury prevention is never guaranteed, developing our bodies, we're going to be more efficient. As well is that these injuries are also happening all the time when we're tired. And good thing is that we have strength training, which helps improve stamina greatly because we're training our bodies through stress environments. One study actually took two groups of high school students, one group who didn't do any strength training and one group who participated in strength training regularly, and compared their end of season results, and there was a 42.6% increase in injury for those girls who weren't strength lifting, which is absolutely significant. These results made it so clear that strength training is essential in injury prevention. There are very few cons, if there's any, to strength training. People who choose to strength train can see results within the first few weeks of doing it. Ultimately, this kind of training can provide you with all the benefits we discussed today, improving our physiques, numerous health benefits, and advancing our athletic abilities. Strength training, when we're practicing it properly, is going to have extremely positive influence on our bodies. I hope that for those of you who don't already engage in strength training, choose to implement it in the future. In addition to what we've already discussed today, strength training has shown to boost so much confidence. I know this to be true from personal experience as well. The most difficult part about strength training is getting started. Make sure that before you start strength training, you research what's going to work for you. Thank you.